I talked to so many people that say that they've been scammed by you.
It's a lie, but that's why I have a
What do you mean it's a lie?
That's CBS 2 investigator Dorothy Tucker on the trail of yet another accused serial scammer. He isn't her first. Remember Candace Clark? Well, she finally got arrested after the CBS 2 investigators discovered her deceptions going back decades. Then there's Jim Levin, a serial squatter who landlords say skipped out on paying rent over and over again. Now Dorothy's on the case of another man. This guy. His schemes also go back decades, but these involve some notable names. A former president, a former Bears head coach, and hundreds of thousands of dollars from ordinary people down the drain.
I lost my job, executive level job.
Tim Donovan hit rock bottom in 2011.
Went through a really tough divorce and still going through it. So mentally, I really wasn't all there.
Stressed. He spent hours at the gym. It's here, Export Fitness in Libertyville, where he met Rick Dugo.
I mean, he was always the life of the party kind of thing, kind of loud, but, cheerful.
And Dugo had all the trappings of a successful businessman, including a 60-foot cigarette boat.
So that kind of attracted people as, I want to know this guy.
Donovan got to know Dugo very well, perhaps too well.
I trusted him where I thought he was a close friend and would be a business partner.
So over the course of more than a year,
$8,000.
Donovan doled out cash,
$43,000.
like candy,
$49,000, $40,000.
to invest in Dugo's big money-making ventures, to sell cars, appliances.
$92,500.
The deal that excited him the most?
Sounded like, wow, this is great, this is it.
A car wash in the parking garage of Trump Tower.
Because there's nothing out there like that.
So Donovan gladly handed over
$191,500. You get to a point where you're trying to make it work no matter what.
He drained his 401k, wiped out his children's college funds.
And you're almost making yourself believe that everything is fine.
Total investment for all the dubious deals? $769,000.
That's what I lost.
On top of that devastating loss, when Donovan finally went to Trump Tower,
I can't even describe the feeling.
there was no car wash.
It's like the whole bottom drops out, and it's hard to describe. The anger that comes up is beyond what I thought I would ever have.
Donovan took that hit nearly 10 years ago. But it wasn't until March of this year that Dugo was arrested and charged by Lake County prosecutors with theft, deception, conspiracy for conning Donovan and two others out of nearly $1 million. This is Dugo today. He's currently out on bond. This Vernon Hills townhouse is where we found Dugo, but this is not where he lived when he was charged with the crimes. Back then, Dugo was living large in this $650,000 four-bedroom home in Lake Forest. It's a beautiful house that once belonged to a famous face.
It is not going to be easy, but it's a great challenge to us.
Former Chicago Bears head coach Dick Duran.
Coach Duran had no idea Dugo was living here. There was a woman's name on the lease. All he knew is that the rent was not getting paid, and he was stiffed out of $28,000.
Dugo has a history of legal troubles relating to cons. Dating back to 2000, the CBS 2 investigators found 11 civil lawsuits with victims complaining about a boatload of scams. In some of those suits, Dugo was ordered to repay more than $350,000 to his victims.
I wish I never met him. It was horrible.
David Andrew was just 21 years old when he met Dugo. It was a chance encounter, also at a gym.
I wish I could go back in time and see him and run in the other direction.
Dugo, and this may sound familiar, had a car wash deal that made Andrew salivate.
And he would tell me it's like $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 and we would be up and running. But I would be making, $15,000, $20,000 a month. So, and I was excited. I truly was.
Then Andrew did something he has lived to regret.
I let this devil into my family.
He took Dugo home to suburban Wooddale.
I feel horrible.
Almost everybody, says Andrew, got scammed.
My mom, Tina.
Each, he says,
my grandmother.
Loaned Andrew money to invest.
My grandfather.
Or gave it directly to Dugo for the car wash or other deals.
A good friend of mine, Jamie, and his brother, my father.
He's not done.
There's a girl, Maria. Can't think of her last name.
This list goes on.
And then some of my brother friends as well. I mean, that's close to 20 that I just named.
Close to 20 ripped off for at least $500,000, according to Andrew.
I had them single-handedly get financially devastated, and I brought that to them. That's hard. That's hard to live with right now.
Just give me 2 seconds.
Back at Dugo's home, we continue to press him.
There are a lot of allegations. I've talked to so many people that say that they've been scammed by you.
It's a lie, but that's why I'm a
What do you mean it's a lie?
So who is this accused con man? A Northside kid who attended Gordon Tech in the early 80s. Back then, he was Rick Shelty.
I think I was 16 when I met him.
This one-time girlfriend.
He was good looking.
Who chooses to remain unnamed.
And that was at our house.
May have been Dugo's first victim.
I was looking to buy a car.
She gave Dugo $600 with the promise he'd get the car.
And that was the last I ever saw of that.
The girlfriend never filed a police report against Dugo. Few did.
Part of that could be embarrassment.
That reluctance to complain, says Harold Krent, professor of law at Kent College, may be one reason Dugo was never stopped. Another reason, says Krent, falls on law enforcement. Remember Andrew?
I lost everything I had and some. And
he says he went to the FBI to file a complaint against Dugo nearly 20 years ago, in 2003.
And in order for them to have looked into it, I needed to have an actual physical loss of $250,000. And since I did not have that, nothing happened.
Nothing happened until 2018, when Dugo finally got the attention of Lake County authorities. What do you think made the Lake County prosecutors pursue him when others supposedly didn't?
It may be that they saw a repetition of behavior and they wanted to stop it to prevent other victims from falling to this individual's charm.
Stopping Dugo is what they all want.
He's complete fake. He's a phony. He's a scammer.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars. I spoke to Tim Donovan.
He's a monster. He really is.
There are a number of other people too.
I want him to do a lot of time for this. Sit behind bars.
Who have the same.
Dorothy Tucker, CBS 2 Investigators.
The prosecutors in Dugo's criminal case indicated that new charges involving a new victim could be coming soon. To read more about this story and the rest of our investigative pieces, just hold your phone up to the QR code on your screen.